Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we're venturing into the ancient city of Jericho. This city is well known throughout all of Scripture, not just from the Old Testament account of when the Israelites marched around the city for 7 days, and with a great yell the Lord caused the walls to fall. But this city is actually mentioned multiple times throughout the Old and New Testament. And that's what we're going to explore today. So in addition to Jericho having camels that you can ride, and who also like to give kisses, I found a bunch of peacocks all over the city, specifically around some of the shops there. And they were just filling the whole area. But one thing you might not know is that Jericho is actually the oldest city in the world, which you can see here on this sign. But if you also look closely at the bottom, it says that this is Elijah's well. Now there's a scripture in 2 Kings chapter 2 where the people of Jericho came to the prophet Elijah and said that the city was beautiful, but that the water there kept making people sick and infertile. And so Elijah brought a brand new bowl filled with salt. He threw it into the well and prayed over it, and the Lord made the water good. Y'all, this is that well. And I can tell you myself, I had to taste some of it. The water is still good today. Another great story that you may know of, but you may not know happened in the city of Jericho, is that of Zacchaeus, who one day when Jesus Christ was coming into town, climbed up a fig tree and waited for Jesus to come by. When he came by, Jesus stopped and looked up in the tree and called him down and said, "Zacchaeus, today I'm going to stay at your house." Many of the townspeople did not like him because though he was a Jew, he collected taxes for the Romans. And not only did this happen in the city of Jericho, but the tree you're looking at right here is historically what most people believe was that tree that Zacchaeus climbed up that day to see Jesus Christ. So much more happened in this city. This is also the place where a man cried out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And people were telling him, "Stop, be quiet." But then Jesus called the man over and healed him of his blindness. This man is someone we today call blind Bartimaeus. But the last thing I want to show you of Jericho is this place right here. This is called Old Jericho. This may possibly be the place where, as we talked about in the beginning, the walls of Jericho fell in the Old Testament. This area has been excavated and is known to be inhabited as long ago as about the 9th century BC. Now, as you leave Jerusalem, you're going to see this mount in the distance. This mount is important because after Jesus Christ was baptized by John in the Jordan, he was led by the Spirit into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights to fast. And after that, Satan came to him and tempted him. One of those temptations was that Satan took him to a high mountain and showed him all the splendors of the known world and told Jesus Christ that if he would bow down and worship him, that he would give him all those things, which we know is a lie because, one, if you worship Satan, then you actually don't have control. You've given control to the evil one. And two, it wasn't Satan's to give in the first place. All things always belong to God. By the way, this mount that you're looking at here is what is believed to be the mount where Satan tempted Jesus, what today is known as Temptation Mount. Now we're going to head back up north to the Sea of Galilee. And right on the shores is a place known as the Mount of Beatitudes. This is where Christ gave perhaps his most famous sermon. It's recorded in Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. It's known as the Sermon on the Mount. And this is probably one of my most favorite scriptures of all time, because it's like the nuts and bolts of how to live a Christian life. But he begins this sermon. This is his first public major sermon with countless people on the hillside. And it's interesting to me how he chose to begin his public ministry. This is what he says. As you see these pictures, you can almost imagine being there. From Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 to 12. One day, as he saw the crowd gathered, Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples gathered around him, and he began to teach them. God blesses those who are poor and realize their need for him, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. God blesses those who mourn, for they will be comforted. God blesses those who are humble, for they will inherit the whole earth. God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. God blesses those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. God blesses you when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you and say all sorts of evil things against you because you are my followers. Be happy about it. Be very glad, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. Now, it wouldn't be a true exploration of the Galilean region if we didn't spend some time on the Sea of Galilee. And I'm not usually the person online, on social media, that likes to post pictures of their lunch, but I wanted y'all to see this because our lunch that day was of fish that had been swimming in the sea less than a few hours ago. But what I really want you to see is these photos of being on a wooden boat on the Sea of Galilee. I got these videos and pictures with you in mind because from this perspective, we can almost imagine what it must have been like to be one of the disciples. Christ spent so much time on this sea. The disciples spent so much time on this sea. This is where Christ calmed the waters. This is where Christ walked on the water. This is where he crossed over from one side to another so many times. And even after his resurrection, where the apostles said, "What shall we do next?" And they did what they had been trained to do their whole life. They went back and went fishing, most likely here on the Sea of Galilee. I don't know about you, but as I was going there, and even now as I look back at this water, knowing that Christ walked upon this as well as Peter, to me it almost looks like there's an elasticity to the top layer of this lake. And I don't know, part of me just wanted to get out and walk on it myself. I'm going to leave you for just a few minutes here as we wrap up with just the sounds, as we did last week, of the Sea of Galilee, and that you know that you're hearing the same things that the early Christians did, that the apostles did, that Jesus Christ heard.